G20 is an absolutely hilarious die-hard spoof that playfully makes fun of all the ridiculous tropes of modern Hollywood, featuring an out-of-shape woman in her late 50s who has to take on an army of evil crypto bros while battling sexism on her own side, aided by her teenage tech genius daughter to stop an Australian dude from crashing the world's financial markets. And honestly, I haven't laughed so much in years, watching an almost 60-year-old Viola Davis beating up a 250-pound meathead with a frying pan really shows that Amazon have come to terms with how ridiculous this girl boss stuff is and decided to fully embrace the comedy potential of modern Hollywoods. Wait, what? This is a serious movie? Really?
Oh my god!
Good lord, talk about backing the wrong horse. If you ever wondered why Jennifer Salke was fired as head of Amazon Studios, well, G20 is a perfect example. A hilariously earnest attempt to push the girl boss trope to its logical conclusion by making the protagonist not just an ass-kicking, gun-toting Mary Sue, but literally the leader of the free world as well. Wasting a talented cast with stilted, hackneyed dialogue that dumps so much exposition it should have been prosecuted by the EPA, and a story that reads like a laundry list of current-day buzzword issues that Hollywood writers barely understand but sound really cool, like AI deepfakes, global digital currencies, crypto scams, and internet misinformation. And it's all rammed home with amateur-hour direction and shoddy CGI that makes what was probably a pretty expensive production look laughably cheap and unbelievable. In short, G20 is slop, pure and simple. A movie that embodies all the worst aspects of direct-to-streaming projects like this, probably designed to be watched in the background while you catch up on your online shopping. On Amazon, presumably. And while I'm talking about that, did you know that you can make big savings on your online purchases with Amazon's daily deals, which track online retailers to make sure that you always get the best price possible? Anyway, the plots. So, Viola Davis stars as President Sutton, a former soldier turned politician who's on her way to South Africa for a G20 summit to broker a deal with other world leaders to launch a global digital currency that'll help African farmers do their online banking. Because yeah, sure, a lack of online banking options is definitely the biggest problem facing African farmers today, and not government corruption, poor infrastructure, droughts, terrorist attacks, civil wars, population displacement, diseases, or shortage of chemical pesticides.
Bullshit.
This right here is what happens when you let millennial Californian scriptwriters that think the entire world looks and feels like downtown LA write your $100 million movie. Oh yeah, and she's accompanied by her rebellious teenage daughter who just so happens to be a tech protege, because if there's one trope we need more of today, it's rebellious teenage girls who are inexplicably amazing with technology. And her former political rival who's become an uneasy ally with aspirations for greater power. Is that a reference to something? Is that a reference to something? Is that a reference to something? No idea. Unfortunately, it all goes tits up when Homelander crashes the party by infiltrating the event as the leader of a mercenary team providing security for the summit. Because yeah, sure, the United States would totally trust a mercenary group to protect the most powerful person on Earth, and none of the other delegates would think to bring their own security teams either.
Right.
I don't think you quite understand how heavily secured these events are. You would need a fucking armoured division to get within 10 miles of the place. Anyway, Homelander wants to crash the world economy by making deepfakes of the G20 leaders discrediting Sutton's new global currency so that everyone's gonna switch to Bitcoin and make him a crypto bajillionaire overnight. You know, call me crazy on this one, but I feel like if you've got the 20 most powerful people in the world at your disposal, you could probably accomplish more than just adding a few zeros to your bank account. Like, you could start and end wars at a whim, transfer assets and resources, access state secrets, and generally make the entire world your plaything. But no, you've totally got to pump up the value of that Bitcoin investment, am I right, bro?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Also, I love the idea that he specifically needs the G20 leaders to read into a camera so he can sample their voices and deepfake them. There's probably hundreds of hours of footage of them freely available online. Are you seriously telling me that's not enough already? Also, isn't it kind of a bad idea to live stream yourself doing all of this? I mean, that's just painting a massive target on your back. Even if you get away with this whole plan, you'll be hunted for the rest of your natural life. Whatever. The only fly in the ointment is President Sutton, who manages to escape during the confusion along with a small collection of disposable assholes, and proceeds to fuck with his plans by taking out his men so that she can save her family, rescue the hostages, and stop Homelander in his tracks. Oh yeah, did I mention that she's also a combat veteran who can still kick ass despite being almost 60 years old and having a blown out knee? Well, she is and she does, and the result is some of the most hilarious displays of the old woman beating up very accommodating stuntmen working their arses off to carry the entire fight routine that I've seen since The Last Jedi, and the mysterious disappearing lightsabers to account for Daisy Ridley missing her mark. And the thing is, it might not be so bad if the movie was willing to have a bit of fun with its premise and didn't take itself so fucking seriously. Like, they genuinely thought they were crafting a tense, believable action thriller with this one, and ironically, that's the funniest thing of all.
I hired a security advisor from the G7 to do our consulting.
I don't think that's true.
For some reason, there's been this weird drive to rebrand Viola Davis as a tough, ass-kicking action hero in recent years, which is a bold choice for someone who's pushing 60 and clearly isn't in peak physical condition. Don't get me wrong, I really like her as an actor, but the idea that she could take down a man half her age and twice her size in a fistfight is almost as laughable as watching a 5-foot-tall Bella Ramsey forcing a brick shithouse to tap out in a wrestling match in The Last of Us.
Boom, motherfucker.
Gay!
But don't worry, I'll get back to that one soon enough. Believe that! Anthony Starr is another one of those actors who can deliver a powerhouse performance with the right material, but unfortunately G20 isn't it. You can see how hard he's working to bring some kind of gravitas to the cheesy, contrived bullshit he's forced to read, and it just pisses me off to see talented actors like these wasted in a movie that totally doesn't deserve them. Aside from all that, the usual tropes of modern writing are present and correct with this one. There's the sweaty, middle-aged white guy that constantly talks down to Sutton and exists mostly to be wrong about everything. The rebellious teenage daughter who's so smart she can literally hack the White House security system and escape the Secret Service to go drinking with her friends in Washington. Should have made her the main character if I'm honest. And a recent addition to the Hollywood writing playbook, the vaguely right-wing online influencer villain spreading disinformation for his own personal benefits. Ultimately, G20 is a movie that feels out of time and out of place, made before the cultural winds had shifted and probably banking on certain events in America last year turning out quite differently. It's a film that's laughable when it tries to be serious, boring when it tries to be gripping, and probably not worth 2 hours of your time. Oh yeah, and just before I fuck off, here's a little reminder that the Kickstarter for Trial by Fire still has a couple of weeks left for donations. We already reached our funding goal within the first few days, so big thanks to everyone who donated, and we're now pushing towards our stretch goals to try to produce more and better quality short films. So if you're feeling generous and you'd like to support independent filmmakers, not to mention take a shot at having your own idea turned into a short movie, then consider heading to the Kickstarter page in the description and having a look. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.